Today we're looking at our low backs, hips, and how we hinge forward. Look, I'm hinging right now with a flat back. And in our culture, we collapse at the navel. And I'll get into that more as we go forward, but let's explore this and try to fix what we've been doing wrong so that we have less back pain. Find a strap. I'm just using a scarf. You can use a scarf or a tie and come onto the ground. We'll bring both feet into the scarf, and it's coming right over the balls of our feet. Reach up high, grab on, and wrap the fingers. Before we give any kind of pull, flex the feet actively and see how far we can guide the feet towards our head just on our own without using the scarf. So what we have here is a nice hip hinge with a flat back, but upside down. We're assured a supported spine here when we're laying on our back. So if you do have any herniated discs or just a really tight low back, this is a good place to start. Legs up the wall is another great place. So let's explore this hip hinge. We can start to pull down, just straight down first, so we feel a stretch in the calves. And we're pushing our balls of our feet back into the strap. That'll help us activate the glutes. We should feel them fire. So we're pulling down and pushing back into the scarf. Let's feel that activation first. Now notice your low belly, just below your navel. Draw that down towards the floor. So if we were to turn this up on our feet, this is the engagement we want. Feet pushing into something and navel drawing back towards the spine. And now we can start to guide the feet closer to the head if there's space for them to go. Otherwise, just stay right where you are. Let's take 3 deep Ujjayi breaths. So we're gently constricting the throat for this Ujjayi breath. It helps us slow down the breath. It helps us hear it because it makes a sound. It's the same kind of constriction as if we were fogging up glass, but we do it with the mouth closed. Now let's release that scarf. Bring the legs down. And one nice hip opener we can do while we're still on our back is bringing the right ankle just above the left knee and hugging this left knee in. We can interlace behind the thigh or over the shin if we need more sensation. And let's activate this, speeding up the process by pushing the ankle back into the knee, even as we pull it towards us. So you should feel the right hip muscles get nice and strong. 2 more deep breaths here. And then release. And slide the right knee right on top of the left knee. Pick up the hips, scooch them over to the right, and drop the knees down to the left. Our chin can guide over towards the right shoulder. 3 deep breaths here. On our exhales, we squeeze every last drop out, drawing the navel back towards the spine. Getting wide on that inhale, soften in the belly. And on those exhales, it's active. We're using the muscles in our core. One last breath. And squeeze it out. Press down into the feet and backs of the hands to help the knees back up so we're not just dumping all of the effort into the spine. Uncross. Scooch those hips back so we have a nice straight spine, and let's do the other side. Left ankle above the right knee, hugging it in. You decide how much sensation you need, either behind the thigh or over the shin. And then pressing that left ankle back into the right knee. 3 deep breaths here. Close the eyes and roll them up to the third eye. You don't need to look at me anymore. So third eye point is between the brows and up about an inch. You'll know you're in the right spot when you feel a gentle pressure around the eyes and forehead. Keep pressing that left ankle into the right knee. Exhale completely. And then release, sliding that left knee right on top of the right. Pick up the hips, scooch them to the left, and let the knees drop over to the right. Palms facing up, chin guides towards the left shoulder. Release all the muscles now. We don't need to activate, letting the knees drop down towards the floor. So part of taking care of our spine is twisting. Twisting, hip flexibility, hamstring flexibility. And know that whenever I say flexibility, just assume I mean strength too. We need strength in those muscles in order to prevent injury. So we want long, flexible, and strong, long and strong muscles. Now press down into the hands and feet, helping the knees back up, uncross, scooch the hips back. Let's hug the knees in. We can take a couple rolls back and forth and use the core to do this. So we're lifting the low belly, lifting the hips up as we roll back, and using the top of our core to roll up and forward. We can have some fun with this. Cross the ankles, get some momentum going, and roll all the way up and forward over the ankles. This gets us into our hands and knees, tabletop position pretty quickly. Let's warm up with some cat-cows now. Moving the spine slowly. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We inhale, lift the crown, lift the tail, drawing the heart between the arms. Exhale, press the floor away. Draw the navel up towards the spine, spreading the shoulder blades across the back. Our nice slow ujjayi breath. So taking the whole inhale to come forward and the whole exhale to round. Press the floor away. One more. We'll pause here in this cow. This pelvic tilt we have here with the tailbone lifted up skyward is what we want to continue to have when we go into our downward facing dog. It'll be a little harder to maintain that, but this is the energetic tilt that we want. Let's tuck the toes under. And to help us lock this in, below the navel, all the muscles down there, lifting up. Bring the hands a couple of inches forward, spread the fingers wide, take a big inhale, accentuate that tilt, and exhale, lift the hips, tuck the chin in, give yourself a double chin. And let's keep the knees bent for a minute so we can really hold that pelvic tilt. You'll notice as you start to straighten the legs, we start to lose that tilt a little bit. It's harder to maintain. So feel free, as long as you feel a stretch down the back of the legs, keep the knees bent for a little while as the back of the legs warm up. Keep pressing down into the whole hand, displacing the weight evenly across the hands. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, float the knees down. Inhale, accentuate that cow. Lift the tail, lift the crown. Exhale, send the hips up. Keep reaching with the sits bones and the tailbone. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, float the knees down. Inhale, accentuate the cow. Draw the chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look. Exhale, knees down. Inhale, cow, heart draws forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more silently. Inhale, look forward, and walk to the top of your mat. Staying in this little crouch, send the tailbone back. So we have this hip hinge with knees bent, drawing that low belly in. Reach the arms forward, sit the hips down, and really feel the glutes. We can do so, we can make them fire by pressing down and out with the feet like we're trying to split the mat apart between our feet. And inhale, slowly stand up. You're gonna lose my head, oh no. All right, come back a little bit. So let's explore this hip hinge, this proper one, safely. Do it several times so we really lock it in. Standing up nice and tall, I'll come a little closer. One hand on just above pubic bone, left hand on your hip. Let's notice the difference for a moment. If we hinge like a Westerner, desk sitter, office dude, we're collapsing at the navel and the pelvis doesn't move at all. Now, let's do it the proper way. Send the tailbone back. You'll feel the pubic bone moving back between the legs. Yay, this is the one we want. We're pressing down and out with the feet. Feet are hip width distance. Again, imagine we're splitting the mat between our feet. Arms up, look up. On the exhale, send that tailbone back. And if the hamstrings are really tight, go ahead and bend the knees. Come as far as you can, maybe just a flat back right now. Inhale up. Exhale, send the tail back, low belly drawn in. Inhale up. Exhale down, maybe we go a little bit farther this time. Inhale, press down into the feet, come up. Exhale, send the tailbone back, low belly drawn in. One more time. Nice flat back. We're not hurting our back this way. Our spine is happy. Our discs are happy. You can feel free to watch the shorter version explaining what's really happening here in our back and why we don't want to hinge at the navel. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, step that left foot to the back of the mat. And let's turn to the side. Hands on our hips, let's explore this hip hinge with a wide-legged stance. Pull the hips back in space and draw the rib cage forward. Or we collapse like this at the navel, or we can elongate. Again, we're pressing down and out with the feet. Our glutes activate. Low belly, lifted. This is the same kind of position, same kind of activation if we're reaching down to get something. And we can play with how wide our feet are. See what feels good. Inhale and lengthen. We're still halfway. Sending those sit bones back. Exhale, bring the hands down right underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift the crown. Lift the tailbone a little bit more. And exhale, let's feel the difference. Around the spine, just like we do in cat. We're hinging around that navel. We don't really want that, but we're doing this gently just to notice the difference. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift the crown, lift the tail. And exhale, walk the hands straight out, just like we're coming into a down dog. And maybe walk the hands a little bit further away from the body, bringing some weight into the hands. Our chin tucks in towards the neck. Give yourself that double chin to massage the thyroid, improving metabolism and immune system. Spread the fingers wide, press down into the hands, send the hips back a little bit more. And then inhale, walk the hands back in. Let's heel toe the feet together a couple of times until the toes are pointed out, feet a little wider than the hips, sitting down into Malasana, which is another great healthy position for our hips and back. Some people are starting to call this the paleo squat. This is a way of sitting and working, hanging out, and even just talking in many parts across the globe. That's 1,000 times healthier for hips and back than sitting in a chair. So I encourage you to try this as much as possible. And for some time, you may want a block or a pillow under the hips. You can also bring a blanket under the heels. Give a little more support because we don't want to be up on the heels like this. We really want to settle down. Inhale and lift that heart a little bit more. Press into the knees, drawing them as wide as they can. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Squeeze out that whole exhale. One more. And bring the hands back behind. Sit down. Let's grab behind the thighs. Pull on them and draw the heart forward. Think about our cars. They're also the worst place for our backs. They are almost made to make us hunch and roll the shoulders forward. We can grab onto that steering wheel, pull, draw the heart forward, and even pull our low backs away from the seat. So we're kind of replicating this here in our Navasana. Hold on, pull the heart forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then don't even think about lifting the feet off the ground. Just roll back, and the feet come up automatically. We found this balancing point. Keeping the spine nice and straight, maybe playing with lifting the shins up parallel to the floor. If we won't compromise our straight spine, we can let go or give it a try and then go back to grabbing. Whatever you like. 3 deep breaths here. Continuing to lift the heart up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Strong low belly. Press on the gas pedal. Balls of the feet going forward, toes coming back towards the face. You can always play with straightening the legs. And lower down, straight legs. One last thing here, great for strengthening our hamstrings, great for our low back as well. Kind of a counter pose from where we were. Hands back behind the hips, about a foot, fingers pointed towards the hips. Inhale and lift, Purvottanasana. Guide the ears back over the shoulders, a slight chin lock. And we're pressing into the heels. Eventually those toes are touching down on the floor. Inhale, lift and squeeze those hips up a little higher. Exhale, lower down. Come all the way onto your back. Set your timer for 5 to 10 minutes. 10 is preferable. And be in Shavasana. Soften all the muscles. Let them melt away from the bone. Release the jaw. Let the teeth separate. Let the lips separate. Let the eyelids get heavy. Notice all the tingles, buzzes, warmth, all the interesting sensations that are moving through your body right now. Stay with those, enjoying the fruits of your labor, and sink down into the floor. May we all be free from the veils of illusion, free from fear, free from the whims of our ego, so that we can know our true spirit, our true essence, shine our brightest, and live our highest good here in this life. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.